Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Elev8. This week we have a very special guest, Glassblower Tea Tree Glass. He came down from Breckenridge to come sit with us, which we really appreciate. We'll have him in here in just a minute, but first we're going to jump over and talk to Steve.
What up, y'all? I'm Steve here with Elev8, and I just want to say today is going to be a super fire interview. We got Chris hanging out with Tea Tree Glass. I got to meet this guy. Super cool, humble, down to earth, and I gotta say, the dogs he's making, they're just fire. They're so fire. I'm really excited about this. We got him coming up here in just a few minutes with Chris, and I think they're gonna go really deep into what gets him creative and all that. I'm here just hanging out at the studio, working on some of these little flower marbles I got going on. Just putting them on for the Trippy Tech and Skittle stuff that I'm doing. Just really loving the rainbow stuff and all that stuff. So anyways, hey, let's get back to Chris, Tea Tree, fire through this thing, elevate mind, body, spirit. Peace out, y'all.
Thanks, Steve. That was super awesome. And now let's get into our very special interview with Tea Tree Glass. Welcome, Tea Tree Glass. Audience applauses. So thanks for coming down here and joining us, man. We really appreciate it.
Of course.
It's super awesome to get to see your work in person and get to talk to you in person. Most of these we've been doing over Zoom or Instagram Live recently. So it's awesome to have a relatively local glassblower come in and visit us in person. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
So let's dive right in. How did you get started blowing glass?
So I was always interested in blowing glass, but I never really took the full step. And then finally my brother was just like, he sent me this huge PDF of just all the things I need, regulators, all the things I need. And then I finally took the step. I took my first class with this lady down in Denver called Crazy Woman Glass. She does beads and stuff. So that was my introduce in glass. And then I took my first real pipe making class at Glasscraft when it was still around.
Very cool, very cool. And how long ago did you get started?
It was probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Nice. Going strong.
Yeah.
What sort of items did you start with back then?
Back then, so I worked solid for the longest time because I was just so afraid of hollow work.
I'm in the same boat. Preaching to the choir.
Yeah, everything would just wonk out so fast. And so then I was working solid work one day, and Scott Ratner Glass was at Glasscraft doing something, I can't remember, a collab or something.
Yeah.
And he was I was doing an implosion, the kabuki implosions.
Yeah.
And he's like, have you ever done one of those on hollow? And I was like, nah. And he was like, come by the studio and I will teach you. And Scott kind of took me under his wing and, showed me my work ethic and really got me to where I am now.
Very cool. Do you still have any of those first items that you made?
I have a couple of the first spoons, a couple of the first marbles. A lot of my stuff, eventually, I just get sick of looking at it and I just give it away.
I feel that, yeah. I've definitely given a lot of stuff away because I'm still in that super beginner stage of glass blowing where most of the things that I make don't come out looking like how I saw it in my head. So I'm just here, you can have this. To my friends, my roommate here, I'll just here, have this pipe. I don't like looking at it. And he's like, what are you talking about? This is amazing.
Right? They'll come back 6 months later and be like, dude, I love this pipe.
This is my favorite piece I
and
spoke
you're
of. It's
meh.
Cool. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, I'm glad it's getting used. Yeah.
That's awesome. What type of things do you keep nowadays of your work?
Pretty much only collabs. This guy's a collab with my studio owner, and I'm having a hard time getting rid of him because he just doesn't do a whole lot of rigs and stuff. So he's a little special.
Yeah, I feel that sentimental value.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense. So you mentioned taking a couple classes when you started. Did you have a mentor or somebody in your studio or somebody nearby to?
So really, it was I took my first hollow class with K-Sass up in Boulder, and that one just didn't really click with me. She was teaching me stuff. Later on, it made sense, but she was teaching me stuff way out of my skill level.
Yeah.
And so I was just I don't fucking know.
It's I can't get the prep done to do this, let alone do the thing that you're trying to teach you.
Yeah, exactly. But once Scott took me under his wing, honestly, just watching him work and him help just tweaking me and stuff, I got so much better so fast.
That makes sense. Definitely having somebody who's there to watch you make a mistake and say, hey, maybe next time do it like this.
Yeah, exactly. Especially since he was like right across the bench from me, so he saw when I was fucking up.
Yeah, that helps. When you're staring somebody in the face, they can definitely tell when accidents are going.
Yeah, exactly. Whoa, don't do that.
Definitely. So would you say that those classes that you took really helped move your career along or your skill level along?
Definitely. And just like, really just, like any beginner glassblower, I always say just be around people who are better than you. Like, so many people will just like work and just fail. But it's like, be around people who are better than you, because like just seeing how they work, like, just helps so much.
Definitely. Like watching the steps that they take to achieve something.
Yeah, or just like the minute things, like the way they place their hands or the way they like blow.
Absolutely. What is your favorite type of like item to blow? Is it rigs, pipes, pendants, marbles?
Mostly rigs, and like I love sculptural work. I've been trying to work more technical stuff, like the wig wags and stuff. Just like trying to get more technical, but like truly at heart, like a sculptural glass blower.
Did you do any other types of art before glass at all?
I mean, I drew a little bit, and like I did some video stuff. That's actually what I went to school for a year, and then I dropped out. And then, glass is just like, glass just takes over your life,
100%. I totally understand. So yeah, you said sculptural work. I got a question about sculptural work here somewhere. What drew you to focusing on sculpting mostly?
It was just like something that's always been like easy for me, I guess. So like, I started making these monsters at like the very beginning with like teeth and stuff, and they were like, they looked a little wonky, but like I wanted to make like a wolf type creature, and that's the first time I like made one of these heads. Like I pulled up the nose, and I was like, ooh, I'm onto something.
Nice. So it was sort of a happy accident.
Oh yeah, totally. And then I just ran with it.
Very cool.
Here we are.
Yeah, all these different pups here. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So I noticed on some of these here, a couple of them have millies for eyes. Do you make those millies, or?
I don't right now because I'm lazy, and also like I hate pulling stuff down.
For sure. I was just wondering. So, do you tend to mostly just do like the dot eyes, like this one here?
I started doing the dot eyes, but like they get smeared sometimes, so that's why I moved to the millies, and like all the other big guys like use millie eyes.
Yeah.
So like I was like,
Definitely.
there's got to be a reason.
And so you sort of the same thing where you're talking about seeing somebody more experienced, the way that they do something.
Yeah, exactly. There's definitely a reason for it.
Have you had a chance to work with any of those mentors from your early days?
Like I've worked with Scott a couple times. I've worked with some other people, but like I've just been laying low. Like my studio in Breckenridge, it's like real quiet.
Yeah,
no one's ever there, so it's
makes
just like,
sense. Do you like that sort of secluded studio feel, or?
It's like a bittersweet, It's nice because it's just you and like your friends, but it also gets like mad lonely sometimes.
I can feel it. I can see that. Absolutely. What would you say is like the most difficult piece that you've ever attempted?
Definitely these guys right now. Like just, I've done some big sculptural work, but like just getting them perfect and getting them right, and like the heat that like radiates, you really have to think about the heat and like adding solid pieces to hollow pieces, and like those are definitely the hardest thing I've had to fight with.
Very cool, and it's got a whole bunch of different techniques. I know this one's the collab one, so you probably
that's
didn't
the
do
collab.
all of those techniques, but there's more than a couple different styles or techniques of glass blowing that are at play there, which is really cool.
Yeah, my studio manager had like a whole bunch of prep all over his bench, and was like, just take whatever, I don't care, just give me some money and we'll like, call it a collab.
Nice.
Like, deal.
Nice. What would you say is like the hardest or most challenging type of piece to blow?
That's hard saying. I would just say that like, the bigger the pieces and the more technical stuff you put on it, it's just gonna get harder and harder. And like just like understanding heat,
Yeah, definitely. Now, what about techniques? Is there any sort of like techniques, like a reticello or something like that you've tried and just been like, oh, that's not for me?
Yeah, I love reticellos and flips. Like they're just so cool, but They are mad challenging, very mad challenging.
Definitely.
Especially just getting that perfect flip or that perfect, without distorting the image.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love them. They're so cool, but, they definitely take work for sure.
Definitely. Lots of practice. So, we got a whole bunch of dogs here.
Yeah.
Why dogs? Was it just because of that happy accident, or do you have a dog yourself? You a dog lover?
I do have a dog, and I'm a huge dog lover, always have been, and so the happy accident just kind of turned into something that is a big part of my life.
Nice.
And that's the best type of stuff, when you
Yeah.
get to do something you're passionate about, and it just correlates
Absolutely.
with your life.
It just struck a chord with you as soon as you had that little happy accident. You're like, oh,
Yeah, exactly.
that's awesome. Is dogs something you will continue to pursue, or are you trying to shift into some other animals maybe?
I've done a couple other animals, but to be honest with you, it's one of the things that drives me a little crazy is when people are like, "Oh, I love T-Tree's work. Can't wait until he does a cat." It's there's plenty of talented artists that do cats.
Yeah,
This is my thing. It's the dog.
for sure. So you're gonna dwell on the dogs.
Yeah, for right now. Plus,
Nice.
I've been trying to do different styles of the dogs. So we have the standing ones. We have these, which I call my palm pups.
Nice.
I'm just starting to do a recycler one with the head. Just trying to dial that in. So there's plenty of styles you can
Yeah,
get from me.
definitely. Are those recyclers pretty challenging?
They are, but once you know how to make a climb, they just kind of all fall in the same, and then it's just shaping, just getting
sure.
down that really crispy shaping.
Nice. And with recyclers, that's something that people tend to be pretty picky about the function. Is that something that's pretty hard to achieve? Is that good?
Yeah, it's all just knowing your tube length and how the water comes up. Sometimes it's guesswork for me.
Mhm.
We'll see when this comes out.
Yeah. But that's cool. Heck yeah. Do you do collaborations often?
I love to do collaborations. Sadly, in this fucking industry, there's a lot of ego,
Mm-hmm.
So, I love to collaborate. I just try not to get egos involved and stuff. I just want both of us to come up, on the piece and
definitely.
both have a good time. So, I love to collaborate, but you just gotta be careful.
If you guys are willing to collaborate with T-Tree,
Yeah, hit
hit
me
him
up.
up on T_tree class on Instagram.
Yep, that's my IG.
Um,
DMs are always open.
Heck yeah. So you just mentioned you've been blowing glass for about 5 or 6 years. Has Instagram always been the primary source of where you post your work? Or?
Yeah, I tried doing Facebook for a little bit, but Instagram's just the king,
Yeah, for sure. I know some people dabble in Etsy and stuff with some production work. I was just wondering. If you
Yeah,
had-
yeah. I opened an Etsy, but all my rigs have joints or carbs and stuff, and they're nah, get that out of here.
Etsy doesn't like functional glass.
No.
I didn't know that. That's good to know.
At least they didn't when I was doing it. It may have
For
changed
sure.
now, but
What is? Oh, sorry. Go back to the collaboration question. Do you have a favorite artist that you've collaborated with?
So yeah, it's hard to pick because there's so many good
Yeah.
people and they're all my
Yeah.
they're all close friends. I do really like this one because Jamie Lang is the guy who I blew glass with. He's a real old school glass blower, so I gotta use all his old school prep and
Nice.
this wigwag ball on the back of the head. He said had been sitting on his bench for 10 years.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. That's longer than you've been blowing glass. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
exactly. So that wigwag ball has just been, and I was I gotta do something with that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's definitely one of my favorites. I did something. I love the carved pieces,
Oh,
where
yeah.
you do the blue caramel and then
Mhm.
carve over it.
Yep.
I love those. So yeah.
We had Music Man Glass in here, and he does a lot of sculpting too. And he was talking to us about how he's been loving those blue caramels.
They're
carvings.
so cool.
It's definitely something that's completely unique to glass. Is those colors that are completely different shade out there on the surface than inwards. I don't
Yeah.
think clay does that at all or anything.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That.
And it's so cool because it's a way that you can really collaborate with like an artist that's not in your medium at all.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I've got a friend who's a visual artist who I've been trying. I'm like, dude, just get like a little Dremel tool, a little titanium piece, and just dive in.
They're
dude.
so cheap. Like Dremel's $60, and then a pack of the bits are like $5.
Yeah. If you're good at drawing, maybe you could find your way into the glass scene.
Yeah, get into it. There's not many of them out there.
Yeah, there's really not. There's like a couple of like really big names, and then like a handful of like small town people.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely, that'd be something cool to see. Like maybe like a full size dog with like some crazy action.
It's on the way.
It's on the way.
It's on
Heck
the
yeah.
way.
Heck yeah. What is the most amount of time you've spent on a single piece?
Oh, it's hard to say, you know, because like I try not to like finish a piece right away. So like I'll make all the functional parts and then like put the arms and legs on it maybe, and then just like crash the kiln. And then the next day I'll come in, feel the piece, make sure there's no like nicks in it or weird spots, because like the last thing I want is someone to be smoking out of the piece and just be like, ugh, just like feeling that little lump or something.
Yeah.
Like that's the last thing I want. So like I try to take my time with every piece and like make sure that like there's nothing that like your fingers are gonna like really like bother you or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's a hard question, but like upwards of 15 hours.
Nice. Very cool. Do you use your own pieces?
I do. I don't smoke as much as I have been, but like I don't. It's just like this weird ego thing with me that like I like to support other people, you know. So like I do have pieces of
So
my
you're
own.
a fan of
but
the glass scene.
Yeah.
So not just an artist, but you're also a fan of glass art.
Yeah,
too. That
exactly.
makes sense.
Like I don't want to just, you know, like stroke my ego, be like, oh yeah, I made this. I would much rather be like, oh yeah, my friend Jordan made this. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I'm with that. The supporting of the friends. That's something I love as well.
Yeah.
What is your preferred? I guess you said you don't really smoke that much anymore, so we'll forget that question. Have you ever competed at any events before?
I haven't. I really want to, but like, just as a person, like I'm like kind of shy. I've only done a couple demos in my life, and like, so like, being in that kind of situation is like it's exciting, but also like I don't know. I like being in my little cave and grinding away.
Definitely, I'm sure blowing glass with an audience is a whole different game. Blowing glass with 19 other glass blowers around you.
Yeah, it really is.
I'm sure it's a wild experience. We've talked to a few people like Windstar Glass, who's won a couple of those like champs competitions.
She can't stop winning.
Yeah, she's got a big problem with taking home big checks.
Yeah, for real. She's a boss for sure.
Absolutely. Let's see. What sort of things can we look forward to in the future for Tea Tree Glass?
I mean, honestly, just like more art. It makes me happy, so like I'm just gonna continue being happy. You
Heck
know,
yeah.
that's all I'm really like looking for in life.
That's awesome to hear. You have any latest projects that you could maybe give us a little sneak peek in, or is this some of the latest work right here?
This is mostly the latest work.
Heck
I've
yeah.
been trying to work more on some Opal Tech prep and just like really dialing these guys in. These are like the standing dogs. I really like the look of them. I really like the function of them. So more of those for sure.
Heck yeah. Do you? I think I forgot to ask this question, but do you have a favorite color? Sculpting.
I do have a favorite color. Like, I really like the easy colors, so this amber purple and like the North Star yellow.
Yeah.
They're just like easy colors to work. But lately, like, shout out to PDX tubing. Like, their stuff's just so much butter that like you can't go wrong
That's
with any
all
other
I've heard
stuff.
from them, or about their glasses.
Yeah, they're so good. Like this is PDX. And the hands and head are all PDX. And it's just so butter. Like I've told them that a million times. Like they definitely have a customer for life.
Yeah, that's awesome. So for the listeners or watchers who may not know, the softer butter colors are easier to sculpt, like shapes and edges and all that sort of stuff in, because it's softer. Whereas like a harder color, you got to put a lot more heat into it, and it cools down. It's all sorts of crazy stuff. Do you still find the same love and passion you had when you were starting with glass blowing?
I do now. So like I took a year off just because like it was starting to become a chore, and like I was honestly just trying to like make whatever quick dollar I could, you know, just like, oh, you need a pipe, I can make you a pipe.
Yeah.
And like it just wasn't really bringing me fulfillment, and like so I took a year off and, you know, fucking figured shit out for myself. And then when I came back, I was like, I'm going to work on my dogs because that's what I love doing, and like it's brought me so much joy and, you know, happiness, and is what I'm doing full time now. So like, you know, I can't complain at all.
Nice. So we can follow you on Instagram at @T_treeglass, correct?
Yep.
Awesome.
Just like that.
Do you have any website or anything else? Just the Instagram?
No website, just the Instagram.
Heck
If you have
yeah.
to get a hold of me, just DM me. I'm pretty good. I'll probably get back to you in like 24 hours for sure.
That's awesome to hear. Heck yeah, we really appreciate you coming down here and joining us, man.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Wanted to give another big thank you to T_Treeglass for coming down from Breckenridge to see us today and talk with us. We're going to jump over and talk with Johnny from 7th Floor now.
Guys, hey, thanks for letting me join, Chris. I just wanted to hop in and talk about our brand ambassador thing. It's super easy to join. There's a lot of great stuff. There's a lot of cool things that you can get out of it. All you do is you go to Elev8 Glass Gallery, you go to our info page, and then you go to wholesale partnership information. And like I said, there's a bunch of ways that you can get involved with us. And if you want to take it a step further and be part of our wholesale team, you can sign up there, check all that stuff out. So thanks for letting me join, Chris, and I hope you guys stay elevated, higher mind, body, and spirit.
Thanks, Johnny. Now we're going to jump over and talk to Teresa with Elev8 Veterans.
Good evening, everyone. It's Teresa here with Elev8 Veterans. I have John with me. I just want to say thank you, Chris, for having us tonight. T_Treeglass, what an amazing interview. This guy really can blow some glass. Y'all need to go check him out on Instagram. But for now, I want to tell you that on Saturday, October 25th, John here is going to be at the 7-Eleven on the corner of Powers and Aero Plaza. He will be there doing a trunk or treat from the hours of 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. I'm going to need you to look for our truck, look for this sign, come by, get some candy, and also get a special invitation to our Heady Halloween the following weekend. We'll be doing a trunk or treat. But for now, I just want to introduce you to John. John is another veteran from the rude car. Anyway, John is a veteran from the 82nd Airborne Division. He was a jump master as well, so he got to push people out the door when they didn't want to jump. So, John, I know you've been with us now, how long?
It's been a couple of months now. That's what he said, about 3 months.
About 3 months, right?
Yeah.
And you've met the whole crew. What do you think so far about our glass blowing program for the veterans?
It's awesome. It actually gives veterans a chance to get in there and create something with their own hands, and, you know, kind of just explore your creative side again once you come back into the civilian world, because I can tell you firsthand that sometimes it's a little challenging, but when you meet cool people and get to come hang out and do stuff like glass blowing, you know, it makes everything just a little more bearable. So but yeah, back to the trunk or treat. Why don't you come on down and get some candy from me this Sunday here at the 7-Eleven, and we'll see you guys there.
We also not only do glass blowing, because John actually wasn't too fond of the glass blowing. We also do fly fishing. We have education. I allow people to go with me on pop-ups to do dispensary visits. If you want to be hooked up in the cannabis industry for a job, I can help you there. Elev8 Veterans has just come a long way, and we're here to help you in whatever you guys want to do. Elevate mind, body, spirit, you guys. And again, I'm Teresa from Elev8. This is John, and we are Elev8 Veterans.
Well, that was super awesome. Thanks to you guys for joining us for another episode of Elev8 at 8. I wanted to give another thank you to Teresa, Johnny, and Steve for joining us. And then, of course, a huge thank you to T_Treeglass for coming down and seeing us in person. I do believe that Steve also gave him some awesome prep, so keep your eyes on the lookout for an awesome SSV Steve and T_Treeglass collab. We do have our Heady Halloween coming up. That'll be a week and 1 day from today when this airs, so that'll be on Halloween, the 31st. We're going to have some live glass blowing, a little trunk or treat event, all sorts of good stuff going down at our glass studio. Hit us up on Instagram at Elev8_glass_gallery to reserve yourself a spot. And yeah, you guys have a great week. We'll see you next week.